Hello everyone, this is Flammy and welcome back to episode 20 of my Let's Play. So here we are with a brand new base. So I've got a couple updates here and some bad news. So I just went earlier this evening and recorded a big long 3-episode base build like I've done several times in the past, and then I lost it. The recording software screwed up and didn't save the file, completely gone. Yeah, really disappointing. So I think I'll upload the audio later and include it in the description of this video if you want to hear that. A couple people who I was talking to on Facebook said they'd be interested in that, but it won't have any of the visuals associated with it. But this is the base we're going to be building, or in the audio, I guess. So this is the completed base. So I'm going to go over sort of some of the features in this new base of ours and talk a bit about it, and then we're going to be doing one quick attack, maybe two. We'll see. The video will probably look pretty long because I've got a lot to talk about for this base. So I started with this base by just putting these 4 guys in the center here. It is a farming base, as you can tell by the fact it's got these 2 gold storages and the 1 large elixir storage in the center. If I did have 2 elixirs, I would put them both here in the center, but because I only have 1, I'll throw them order here. Where's the other elixir? Well, I do have another elixir storage. Where is it? There it is. It's right down here in the bottom. It's a level 1. The reason I have this, once again, is because it adds just extra 400 hit points that someone can destroy if they want to 3-star my base. And it only has 1500 resources in it, so not very much is stolen whenever it is attacked. Okay then, so what did I do next? Well, then this double wall around the resources is actually quite unusual. I had the idea of this when looking at someone else's base, and they had a double wall in an interesting position. I was like, maybe I could use an interior double wall to protect against resources. So I've never seen anyone actually use this before. Maybe there's a couple out there. There probably are. But a double interior wall is sort of unusual. So what I hope this is going to do is for lots of units, especially units that attack any, so that would be barbarians, dragons, and to a lesser degree goblins. I know goblins don't attack any, but they're also in this group, and P.E.K.K.A.s. All those units will be very disinclined to attack into the center, and that is because there is a valid option for them to attack very nearby. So that's what this double wall was intending to do. So then I started placing some defenses around the outside, and I started with the mortar, the wizard, all out here. I originally had them all spread out on opposite sides, but then I switched this up later to incorporate this sort of tricky pathfinding, and this tricky pathfinding, which I'll describe, is meant to deal with giants. So I switched up the wizard towers and the mortar to keep them alive. So first I put this broken wizard over here because I am creating this as the vulnerable side, and then I left the intact one over on this side, and then the mortar on this side, so they'd stay alive as long as possible. The wizard towers are positioned in this way, so as you can see with their range, they can hit any goblins that do manage to break into the center. So you may have noticed that I was talking about a double interior wall, but I clearly only have a single interior wall on this one side. That'd be this top right side here. And that is intentional. I originally did a double wall, and then I decided I'd rather do a single wall. Most of that is to try to show weakness on this top right side, to encourage people to attack. We'll see if it works. Why do I want people to attack from this top right side? Well, I do have this open hole in the wall, which is another big point that's saying, hey, please attack here. But as you can see, that the open hole will just like let giants right on in, or goblins, or anything that people decide to deploy out there. So the goal of this open wall is twofold. One, if you deploy a ton of goblins, they're not going to go straight for the center. They're going to go for this building right here. Nope, the elixir collector that just popped up with a bubble. And next, they're going to keep working their way around the side here, and then down and around the bottom. As you can see, I've got bombs, one here, here, and down here. All those are intended to damage and kill mass goblin attacks. Alternatively, and what I expect more often, if we do get big attacks on this base, is to have mass giant, which are going to try to kill all our defenses, then they'd mop up with archers or goblins or some combination of them and barbarians. So I'm trying to induce mass giant attacks from the top right as well. So any mass giant attacks that are deployed outside this hole will come right on through the middle of the hole, right towards the cannon. Next then, I lead them on a merry chase around my base, not allowing them to go into the center. So first they'll go for the wizard tower, hitting 2 spring traps. That's the wizard tower that's under construction, you'll notice, so I put my weaker wizard tower here for a reason, the one that's not shooting. It'll still attract the giants, though. Next they'll go for the cannon, then down here to the archer tower, then onto 2 more spring traps, and the air defense. Once we get down past the air defense, it's into my critical buildings, the ones I consider really important, namely the mortar and the wizard tower. But first they'll hit the cannon, the archer tower, then the mortar, wizard tower, and the final archer tower. After that, the only remaining defense is going to be the inside. I intentionally have a mine here and the clan castle here to not have them as combat buildings, so that any giants coming through the main entrance are not likely to go towards this archer tower on the right side, but instead follow the path that I want towards the defenses I don't care as much about on the left side, where I've also put my traps to take advantage of that. Part of the traps here is intentional to not put them in the entrance hall, because one, that's a very obvious spot to put them, so I expect someone who is knows about traps and traps placement might actually think that they're on either side of this single gold wall here. And that gold wall would be acting like a funneling wall in that situation, when actually this gold wall is there partially to make people think that it's trapped up, and partially because if it's not there, you see that there's a spawn gap right there, so we don't want that. So I've got the trap there. Is that as close as it can go? Yeah. And still deny all the area. Okay, beyond that, the main thing beyond that is I've sort of don't have enough things for the outside to cover all of the defenses. Well, I actually just thought of something I should do. And that's quite simply just move this down, move this up, move this down as well. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't really think of that. It's sort of silly. I guess I'm so used to just keeping I'll move this even. Keeping the army camps on the outside and in the corners, because that's the only place I have room to even somewhat protect them. I'm just so used to doing that. Silly me. Oops. Okay, there you go. You guys actually did get part of the base build. No, not really. I'm sorry. I did leave these 2 builders' huts on the right side here so that they would have extra health on this side for the buildings I care a lot about, which, as I mentioned before, is the wizard and the mortar right here, which I want to keep them alive. Beyond that, the air defense is fairly protected in here. I mean, if someone wanted to, they could bust through with wall breakers in the back here. But if they're going for the air defense, they should hit the archer tower next and the spring traps and sort of go in reverse down the weak side before coming over to the strong side. Let's see. If someone was particularly smart, one way to exploit this would be to deploy giants on this corner down here, and then attack into the archer tower first, and then the air defense. You would lose a couple giants on the way in before you could deploy the healer, if that's the composition you're going for. But it would still hit the double spring trap first, so it's still alright. That's probably our biggest weakness, though. I can't really do that much about it. I could upgrade these walls down here, this in the corner, or I could just swap a couple walls down. Actually, I probably should do the latter one. It's just pretty easy to do. Speaking of wall upgrades, as you can see, I've got all the other corners upgraded to pink. And I left the weakest ones on the interior. That's intentional. And I left some strong ones out here on this entrance hall, and that's also very intentional. So why do I want to put my strongest ones on this entrance hall? So what I expect a decent number of people to try, possibly, is to put down wall breakers right out here, outside the entrance hall. And those wall breakers, instead of running straight down the entrance hall and detonating on this interior resource wall right here, they're actually going to detonate on the nearest wall as their pathfinding dictates, which will be these high-level walls. And very rarely they'll attack a singleton wall. But generally, if you deploy 20 wall breakers right there, like one might attack the singleton wall, so that's pretty unlikely. That's mainly just there to deny the spawning. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll swap this for that. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. No need to waste a high-level wall that's never going to get attacked right there. But the pink walls on either side of them will get attacked by tons and tons of wall breakers, so I do expect them to take lots of hits, which is why it's absolutely important for them to be high level, so they can soak up those hits very effectively. Okay, moving on. There have been some upgrades that I've done lately. So we have one of our army camps upgraded, so you can see this one right here. It's now level 6. This one is still 5 though, and this one I've now got going. Yes, so that I started this bottom one earlier when I was at the beginning of my base build video. I happened to have enough resources to build that, just because I had accumulated them, mostly through resources and then a bit of raiding a while before that. I have kept my town hall on the outside. I guess I've sort of neglected to mention the most important factor of this new base design, and that is the fact that, hey guys, the town hall's on the outside. So there, I've done it. And this is actually quite important. There's two main things that keeping the town hall on the outside of your base does. First off, and most importantly, is it will get attacked all the time. That means we will lose all the time, because destroying the town hall gives 1 star. That means we'll get 1 free 12-hour shield every time this town hall is destroyed. And that's a great thing to protect our resources. Now, let me explain why is this so good to protect our resources. Because, I mean, obviously, like, shields are good, right? But why does this really matter versus just, like, letting anyone attack us and let them give us a shield when they destroy our base and, like, defend it normally? Well, the difference is one of skipping and how long it takes someone to find us and kill us. So if we had a normal base, like we did towards the beginning of Season 3 here, where our town hall was in the center, as well as our resources, so we were trying to protect everything, then people who don't think they can take us on will simply skip us. I mean, that makes sense, right? You do that all the time, I do that all the time in game. Well, when we've got our town hall on the outside, not a lot of people, but a lot more people will say, hey, I'll just attack for free to attack this town hall. And as you can see, we don't actually protect it at all. Even if this wizard tower was active, it wouldn't have the range to protect it. This cannon clearly doesn't, this cannon clearly doesn't, and there's no other defenses nearby. So we're completely giving it away for free. So we had a town hall outside the walls briefly before, in I don't know, maybe Season 3, Episode 15 or so. I did this. I wasn't able to play too much, so I moved it outside, and so it would be less likely for people to attack all of our resource collectors when they were uncollected. Well, in this case, it not only does that, but like I was saying, when people view us to attack, we'll get attacked more often, but we'll be attacked by a wider range of people. Basically, people who are lower level and don't even plan on attacking more than just the town hall. This is really beneficial because they'll attack the town hall, give us a shield, and move on their way. And they'll be happy just to get 1 star. And like 1,000 of each resource. Whereas, if they had decided to skip us because our base was all well protected, then many more people will be viewing our base and skipping it. And some of them will be higher levels who actually are capable of taking on our full base and stealing from the resources. But if we keep the town hall weak, it's much more likely someone who's weak will attack us early on rather than someone who's high level will attack us later on. Basically, we're trying to minimize the amount of time that people can search for our base, because if that time is longer and many people skip us, there's a high chance that someone who's a high level and is able to completely wipe us out will end up taking us on. But if we look very vulnerable, and in this case we are vulnerable, more likely a lower level will attack us, and then we'll get the shield for free and not have to worry about it. Worry about any of those higher levels attacking us. Okay, there guys, that's been a very long 13 minutes of talk about this new base. I still am very sorry I did not have the full build here for us, but let's go out on the attack and try to get some resources. As you can see, we've got 700,000 gold, there we go, and 500,000 elixir. So both of these I'm currently looking for. The gold, we need 1.2 million gold to get up to Town Hall level 7, which is, we're very close to. Like, I would do it immediately if I had the gold. And the other project is the army camp, which we are also getting close to, because that takes 750,000 gold. I mean, by close, we're more than halfway on both, but still not that close. So, I mean, we could theoretically do the elixir in one attack, but it would have to be an over 200,000 attack. More likely, we'll find like 150,000, and then would have to follow it up with 100,000 raid. When I was searching earlier tonight, I did several attacks. Ooh, there's a good one for gold, and not bad for elixir, but not great. I found a lot of bases just like this. And what this is a base that is pretty much abandoned. Someone has not logged in a long time to collect their resources. And we can take advantage of bases like this because they've got lots of resources. Also, this one's a lower level than us, so I'm feeling a little confident in taking it on. So, what are we going to do here? We're going to attack into this air defense on the left side to take it out, and then we'll deploy our giants. Let's see. I think I'll also detonate some wall breakers. I'll probably use a lot of wall breakers, actually. I'll point out where we're going with them. We're going to aim for the T's, I call them. They're perfect on those two. That one might be off, but it's alright if the other one still gets it. Sweet. It got it both. Okay. Better hurry up and deploy my healer before all my giants die, because I'm distracted. But those wall breakers will let us break into these point defenses, which are the cannons and the archer towers, much quicker, so they die faster. I'm debating dropping a heal spell. We are actually dying pretty fast to these things. Damn. We're getting ruined. Okay, I'm not going to. I thought about doing it, but we only had 3 giants left alive, which quite simply is not enough. Okay, so what happened there? Well, I got really distracted with my tricky wall breakers, and yeah, so the giants started dying too fast. The thing about giants is you really got to maintain what's called a critical mass. And that means they just are able to keep moving through defenses fast enough that they don't get bogged down and start dying before they can kill the defenses. I will try to salvage this attack by collecting resources, so I'll do that now. We'll attack into this gold mine, we'll get it for free. Stupid healer. What was I saying? Before I got totally distracted once again. I have no idea what I was saying. Let's see if I can try to remember. Oh yes, issues what went wrong. So critical mass. Critical mass is very important, and you've probably heard of it in other contexts, but basically you can't lose too many giants before all the giants become worthless at attacking, because, like I said, they get distracted and go too slowly. We're still going to get a good amount of stuff here, which sort of begs the question. I'm sort of an idiot for thinking of attacking fully. I just knew that it was going to take most of my army to attack and get most of the resources like it is now. So I just would rather attack full out. But honestly, sort of showing that I can still get all the resources and probably should have just saved the giants. So I guess that's multiple problems. The other problem with this attack and why the giants failed super miserably was this. Once they broke into the wall on the left, once they killed the air defense, I had broken into the wall on the left, so they all came left. Well, the problem was some of them were targeting the cannon that's in this corner right here. Some of them were targeting, I think it was an archer tower right here. Some of them were targeting, I believe, this cannon here. I'm not sure about that last one. But the point is, they got spread out. And spreading out your giants just absolutely kills your critical mass. How could we have handled that better? Well, honestly, I probably should have just used wall breakers to detonate through these walls right here, and just let the giants straight in. I tried to be tricky and let them destroy the point defenses faster, which sort of backfired because it allowed them to attack too many of them, and they got distracted, like I said, and we lost critical mass. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap up an episode. First off, we had the base review, where I failed miserably in recording. Then we had the attack, where I failed pretty miserably in planning the attack. Honestly, for that, yeah, that was really bad of me. I knew in my mind that the resources were all in the storages, or in the collectors, and none in the storages, just because, I mentioned, hey guys, this base is, abandoned, there's tons of resources, blah, blah, blah. But it just didn't click for some reason, that means we probably shouldn't do a big old attack. Well, Sorry about that. That's my chair squeaking. I guess my only excuse is it is currently 2:30 a.m. and I need to get this video edited and uploaded for tomorrow. Why? Because I'm very busy later today. I'll explain why and what I'm doing later today in the State of the Flammy video, which comes out this afternoon, and is probably already out if you're watching this anytime after release. So stay tuned, guys, for that. And I got some updates and announcements in there. Nothing gameplay in there, but just updates for the channel. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry we didn't have the full base build. Let me know if you have any questions about why I did stuff in the base build, especially. I'll be super great about answering. I mean, no, I'm already pretty good at answering in the comments, but I'll be super good this time because I did miss out on my long discussions about why I was doing this versus that. Okay, guys, as always, have a great day.